This is a Suboptimal podcast. Check out our suboptimal content at suboptimal.co.
All right, everybody, welcome to episode number 13 of 2.5 Weebs. This week we are discussing Bakura. Did I say that right?
What?
Was it Bakura? I feel like I...
Legend of the Six Flowers.
Rokka and the Baves.
Rokka! Jesus Christ. What's Bakura?
I don't fucking know.
God.
Were you thinking of like mixing this week with last week where it was Stray Dogs? And it was
Wait,
Bongo
what did I
Stray
fucking
Dogs?
title this shit?
I don't
I
know.
titled it Kitsune. Okay, Jesus Christ. Oh, we're going to keep this.
It's a good start for Dale today.
My God, I've had a day, let me tell you. All right, so this week we talked about Rokka. Rokka and the Six... Shut up.
Rokka and the Baves.
Everything's in Japanese. Why can't I have English titles, please? All right. Yeah, Addison, shut up. Hi, guys. We're doing great.
Okay, so the reason for that, Addison, just a little aside for people who are actually watching this live, that's another show we watched as well. We'll be getting to that.
This is the first time we've introduced this thing, so in my defense, it's two separate shows that I had to remember, and I forgot one of them. All right, I'm sorry.
You did.
So anyway, this week the main show we're talking about is Rokka no Yusha, which is...
The better of the two shows you watched this week.
Yeah, why don't...
Oh, man.
Why don't you guys... Why don't one of you guys explain the first 3 episodes of this, and then we can
All right.
kinda, like...
So, first of all, you open up and you don't get this weird ass anime like high school or some shit. Nah. You get Tenochtitlan, you know? You get your ancient Aztec city in the middle of nowhere. And this dude walk up during the middle of an ancient ritual. And he's like, yo, what's up, bitches? I'm the strongest man alive. And they're like, we're trying to talk to our god right now. And he's like, fuck you, and kicks all their asses. Then he tries to talk to the god, and the god's like, no. Basically, he wants to be selected by the god to kill some demons. He is, but he's also thrown in prison because he's a jackass. He gets rescued by the princess, who is also selected to kill some demons. And they start going on an adventure to go kill some demons. And they meet some other people who are also chosen to kill some demons, who then try to kill them. Mostly being the chick with white hair with a flower that shoots bullets at them because guns are magic. And then, yeah, it doesn't actually get to the interesting part of the show yet, which was kind of upsetting.
Yes. Yeah, the first
It's actually the next episode. I thought it was the third, but it's actually the fourth that gets it.
Yeah, so the big deal with this show is that the world consists of humans and demons. Demons are confined to a small section of the world.
A small peninsula on the far west side of the world.
Yeah, they're isolated there due to the power of the different gods, but every so often the demons rise up, invade the human lands, and start killing everybody. So at that time, the gods choose 6 saviors to fight back the demons and defeat the demon lord. So this time, when everybody gets chosen and gathers together in one spot to go and fight the demons, there's 7 of them, and they're like, the fuck? Why are there 7 of us? There's only supposed to be 6. Somebody here must be a traitor working for the demons. And then,
but it's not that just there's 7 of them there. They all get there. They find out that there's 7 of them.
And they're trapped.
They built a trap to be able to stop the demons from being able to come into their continent, because there's a small peninsula they have to funnel through, and they were going to block it off. What they accidentally did instead was they blocked all 7 of them inside, because one person set off the trap with all of them inside it.
So someone betrayed them. They're now all stuck. There's nobody to fight the demons until they can find a way out. And they're wondering, okay, which of us 7 who are here did it?
Yeah. Who was the person who did it?
So, and a mystery unfolds, and various events happen, and you eventually discover, because I don't want to spoil this, because this is the show I do recommend people go and watch.
I do as well.
I don't want to spoil like how it goes, but they find out who it is, and then there's a ending that happens where you basically left wanting more, and there is some rumors around that we are going to get a second season, which should be interesting.
Yes. I've been waiting for a
because
second season since I watched the show because it's.
they introduce other characters
And-
that are going to make this interesting again.
And there's
so,
also this animation studio's first project that they took on.
yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
and
So
they blew it out of the
Wow.
park.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was. It's
That's really
beautiful
cool, actually.
animation. Good.
the animation
story,
is like super great.
insanely top notch.
Yeah, it's right up there with everything else. It's like the top notch you can get for animation. The fight scenes are awesome. The character designs are very interesting. The setting is very interesting because
I've said
unlike
it
everything
else.
else,
It's an amazing setting.
I was
Nobody
very-
builds anything in like Aztec or Maya.
yeah,
I was
it's
very excited to see that as a setting. I was like, what?
yeah,
Huh,
it's so different.
alright.
It's so
It
different. from
immediately
everything
made
else
me more
you've
interested.
seen.
And they
it's
also
different.
like
It's not the Japanese stuff. It's not your Western culture stuff. It's a culture that doesn't get highlighted a lot, done in a very interesting way.
Right.
And they don't really, pander to a lot of stuff. There's the bunny girl princess, but she's cool, so I don't mind.
And then you have Sniper Chick, who's my favorite character for a variety of reasons.
I
Which-
hate her name. Flamey, please.
Oh, absolutely. Her name
So-
is garbage, but
it's
she's
so
some of the names
bad.
objectively the best character in the entire show, and you'll see why if
So
you keep
bad.
watching it.
So some of the names, these names aren't what you would normally expect in an anime. They're not Japanese based. They seem more Spanish and South American based.
Yeah.
So
You have
that's another little
Adler.
touch.
you have Adler, you have Princess Nachitanya. Like they are not like Japanese names. They're not
Adler, that was
What
the
you would
night
expect.
dude, right?
That's the main guy, the strongest man on
Yeah,
the
that's
world.
What's his name?
That's
Adler? I thought it was
Adler.
something different.
No, the night guy, the princess's guard. His name starts with an N and it's really long.
Okay.
I don't remember.
And I cannot pronounce Danai's name. It is like
But like there's a good cast of characters in the show. You haven't even met the last
Yes.
3 characters of the show.
Oh,
Which
it was
are-
Adler. Okay. And then
Yeah.
there was Goldoff. Goldoff was the dude.
Gold
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
You haven't met the other characters yet. The other people, which includes
Mhm.
a couple more saints. So saints in this world are people chosen
All
by the
women.
gods, and they can only be women who
And they
receive
have like
special abilities.
superpowers. They're cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So
the
you have,
princess is the saint of
Nachitanya.
sword. Yeah, she's the saint of swords, so she can summon blades out of
Saint of
anywhere
Blades.
and use them to attack.
Then you have Flamey, who is the Saint of Gunpowder, which is really interesting line that they say in the show that doesn't make sense yet, which is I didn't know there was a Saint of Gunpowder, because that's an interesting plot point later on that they discuss.
And then you've got the saint of mountains later on, and the saint
Mhm.
of swamps.
Is it swamps? Is that what it is? Is it
Something
like
like
a
that.
bog?
Bog or swamp. It's the
It
bog
might
is
be
basically
swamp.
a swamp, so
I-
I think it's swamps though.
Yeah.
Um,
I just know that
And if we
she's
get
off as
season-
hell.
if we get season 2, we're gonna meet the saint of blood, which should
It's
be
the Saint of Swamps. Saint of Swamps.
Yeah.
Saint of Swamps. Thank you. I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page.
So yeah, you guys saw this a long time ago and you enjoyed it. I
Mhm.
watched the whole
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
season.
Did you?
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
You went right
Yeah.
through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, the
See,
thing
the
is,
thing
that's
is,
exactly-
I took a half a day from work on Monday because I didn't have anything going on. So I spent half of the rest of, all that time I vegged on the couch and I watched it.
Right.
It was pretty cool. I hated the fucking ending. It made my eyes hit the back of my head so fast.
just because it's so clearly setting up for a second season.
It's literally the same fucking thing as season 1 though. So I'm just like, please.
Yeah, no, I
I
totally
hate
get
that
it.
aspect.
I
I hate that
100% get
aspect.
it. But you want a second season though.
Yeah, no, I want
Yeah.
to see what happens next. Like, I just thought the setting was great. The constant mystery was pretty cool. I liked how I could sit and veg and watch it on my couch, and there was a dub, so it's like, yay, cool. And it wasn't anything that was just like, oh, this is terrible. So hey, I'm gonna call it a win. I liked it. It's not like, it's nowhere near One Punch Man or Goblin Slayer for me, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Like those are still
you
my
know
2
what?
favorite animes that I've seen.
I know we have another show to talk about, but can we just really quickly just veer into One Punch Man because you already brought it up?
Shit, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the new season. I haven't seen the new episode
Oh
yet.
wow!
I
It
forgot.
is-
Look,
It's,
I don't know where to look.
There
Is
is
it
a
on Hulu
quality
right now?
to the animation, and it is not high.
Yeah, there is a dip in the animation. It's not bad, but
it's not like
as good as the
it's not
first
as
season.
bad as everybody's saying it is, but it is
No.
100% noticeable.
Yeah,
because
it's different than the first season, but it is a different
So-
studio, so I was kind
Yeah,
of expecting that.
it was Madhouse that made the first season, right?
Yeah.
They animated all of the fight scenes in 60 frames per second,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane. Nobody does that. You will not find any other show that has ever done that. If anything, they animate it in 12.
Yeah, animate for those who aren't aware, like me and Comfy, animation's not done in 60 frames. It's not even usually done in 30.
24 is the general frame rate that you get for TV
Animation.
shows and stuff.
Yep.
And they generally half that. If you watch like Dragon Ball Z and stuff, most of the time it's in 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's not knocking it, because they have to push out a lot of product.
Yep.
So they do it as fast as possible, and they have to cut it. So they do it in 3 frames, they do it in 6 frames, they do it in 12 frames. There's almost nothing that will be in 24 frames, unless it's CG, in which case I apologize that you had to watch CG in your anime. Like bad CG demons in Rokka Braves of the Six Flowers. Watch it now on Crunchyroll. But like, there was the most noticeable thing. First of all, the opening, like the opening for One Punch Man season 2. It plays at the end of the episode, but because it's the first episode.
Okay.
God, it's terrible. Dear God, kill it. Holy shit, what the fuck were they thinking?
So I skipped
You
through
guys
openings
are
after
making
watching
me
the
not
first
want to
time.
watch it. I'm sad about it.
No, the show is still good.
The show is still fine. The show
okay.
is still entertaining.
Yeah.
It's still good. They introduce King immediately and get to the
Yes.
point, which I was very happy about.
Yes, I already kind of know what
Um,
happens, and I'm excited about it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
hilarious.
So they got very to the point. I thought they were going to take a lot longer, but they got very immediately to the point.
Great.
And then there's a fight scene with Genos where it looks like they were in After Effects and like clicked on his arm and dragged it around a little bit. Like it just wasn't a good, like the rest of the fight scene was good, but then there was just one thing that took me out of it really hard.
Okay. I will keep an
And
eye
like,
out. And
it's still good.
It's
People
still 100% worth the watch. It's not awful. There are worse animations out there for sure. So you'll still enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
don't.
JC
listen
Staff
to
isn't the most high quality studio, but they're doing their goddamn best and they're doing a great job at it.
And I actually do expect things to pick up
Yes,
with the
same.
animation, just because they had to know if they don't nail that completely, people were going to complain. So
Exactly. No, I was talking about this in the Discord, which was when it first came out that there was going to be issues with the animation, and people started looking at it and being like, "Oh God, season 2 is going to be fucked." I
it's
said
just
like
different.
JC Staff, if they fuck this up, like they're not going to be a studio for much longer,
No,
because
because their
they were
staff will
handed
leave and
easily the
project
biggest. They were handed the biggest product of this entire season, and if they screw it up against Attack on Titan season 3 part 2, which is going to be like garbage, and I love Attack on Titan, so like this is me bashing it. Like if they mess it up against that, they are not going to be a studio for very long, because nobody's going to give them projects.
No.
They're going to take what was literally just like a soft lob that they could have knocked out of the park, and they're going to like just strike out playing t-ball.
Yeah, and people will actually probably pull projects from them as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they're not going to screw this up. I mean, you got to
They
remember
can't.
that this show is so anticipated. I'm pretty sure they pushed back Attack on Titan just so this could be partially out of the way.
Yeah, no, like that's a big theory for why Attack on Titan's coming in a month instead of with everything else. But
that's like what, season 3.5, right? Like that's the second
yeah,
half
it's
of the third
season 3 part 2.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just call it season 4? I don't know. But hey.
Because I don't know. Why
No,
not?
see, here's the funny thing about Attack on Titan, dude. The first season was 26 episodes, the second season was 12 episodes, and then the third season was already 24, and then part 2 of season 3 is going to be like an extra 12.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't it just be season 4? Nobody knows.
Nobody.
it's anime, and that's how they do it.
knows.
Which you know as well as I. That's sometimes just how they do it.
That's sometimes just, it's how the world works. All right. But yeah, that was, I just wanted, he mentioned One Punch Man, so I wanted to veer over to
Right.
that really quick because it seemed to fit. But hey, we're introducing a new segment this week, right?
Yes.
We are.
We talk a little more in depth about another show,
Mm-hmm.
and we watched Kitsune no Senko-san. Or
Yes.
something
We
like
sure did, right, Dale?
Oh yeah.
Dale definitely watched
Yep.
it before the-
Yep. Why don't one of
The
you
last
guys go
20
ahead and
minutes right
explain
before
the
it,
first
watching it
episode?
while talking to chat and trying to juke him. Definitely.
Don't do that. No, it's a secret.
It's like, don't
I'm
have me
saying
live
you
on the stream.
didn't. I'm on your side here. Also, really quick, just because I can feel it happening. Like, I am still recovering from a cold. I am chugging on cough drops.
we can tell. Feel better, bud.
So that's why my voice is messed up a bit.
Yeah.
So
I also noticed
apologize.
you're not streaming, so I don't
Not
have anything
an
to
actual
watch.
replacement comfy. We you know,
I'm not.
We
I'm
don't
not
have an
streaming?
imposter doing a
Are you
comfy
sure
voice.
about
It's
that?
actually
Oh, you weren't earlier. You might be now.
Yeah, I am now.
Okay. Well, see, now I have something to watch. You know what it is? I keep looking for your old logo. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
There you go. Yeah, so we watched that show. I can 100% see what the show is going for, but they did not hit the fucking mark.
No.
Did you?
Yeah, I can.
Did you
There's
watch
no
Dragon
hook.
Maid, Copper?
I have not. There's no hook in this first episode. That was my.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's what it is. Is the entire first episode is why are you here? Well, I'm here to help you out. Well, why are you here? Because I'm here to help you out. Well, I don't want you to help me out. Just let me help you out. Like there really isn't much going on.
That's pretty much the first episode.
Yeah, and so when I saw it, I immediately, like when I watched the first episode, I immediately got Dragon Maid vibes from it. But Dragon Maid was immediately into the memes, into the comedy, super well done, clean animation, super funny, super charming. This show was, it can go there, but it needs to actually try. I know there's a lot of people who are excited for it because the manga is apparently really good. But this first episode did not really do much for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have more in-depth episode discussion, but me saying that is probably the most in-depth we're going to get about this episode discussion.
Didn't it say something about okay, so she's like a demigod,
She's
right?
an 800-year-old demigod fox.
Yes.
Okay,
She's
so-
a demigod fox spirit who serves the gods. She has some type of ties to his family. As
Doesn't
evidence,
explain what.
but doesn't say what. And there's no real, like, they give a baseline explanation about why she's there to help him, because like he's being corrupted by
yeah, he's
unhappiness.
stressed and being corrupted by darkness or some shit.
Oh,
but it doesn't really
I
go
didn't
into.
even- okay. Is that what the shadow
that's what
thing
black-
was?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
shadow thing coming off. I mean, it
Okay.
doesn't really go into explain what that is, why they give a shit.
Yeah, like
I'm sure we'll.
there's so
I'm
much-
sure we'll learn.
like I'm sure
they'll go into it eventually. It's just a little more information would have been nice in the first episode, and some type of hook. Like there's no.
Yeah, no, like I
Like,
can
the whole
see exactly
story.
what the show's going for, and if they pull it off, it'll be really fun and a good show. But it I don't see it right now.
Like chat. The whole thing is that this guy's a salary man, which is basically a working stiff in.
Yeah, he is.
Japanese
He is a very
culture.
hardworking person. He's very stressed. He doesn't take care of himself very well. So all of a sudden,
Yeah.
this demigod fox girl shows up at his house. Like he literally walks in his apartment after work one day. He's like, "Oh wait, this isn't my house. Oh wait, yes it is. Who the fuck are you?" And she's like, we owe your family a debt for some reason. They don't get into it, and I'm here to pamper you." And like she cooks
You're
him dinner.
sad.
And at first
Yeah,
he's
no,
like,
The word
He didn't wanna
pampered,
take it,
like,
but
put me
he
the
was-
wrong way after a little while. I'm not gonna be honest.
"Wait, what now?"
I think after
Yeah,
the
they-
first, I think after the fifth time saying I'm here to pamper you, I was kind of
Yeah,
like,
that's a line that gets repeated over.
Well,
and
yeah.
over.
that's. I feel like that's one of the reasons the first episode was stale too. Is it was repetitive.
Yeah, the first episode's very repetitive. There's not a lot of scenery in the first episode. There's him at the start
only
in his
their-
office, him on a train
the
going
street.
home, and then that's like the first 5 minutes, and then the bulk of the rest of the episode, like 15, 17
Is-
minutes, is him in one room in his apartment.
I think that this animation was super cheap to make. I think they cheaped out on the first episode. I'll be honest.
I think it's going to
And
hurt
it
them in the
shows.
end. I think.
You know
Like-
what? I hope it does. I'm gonna say if at 3 episodes in, all of us are like, "What the fuck is this show? I don't like it." Then we'll call it and find something
Yeah,
else.
right now I would. So based off the first episode, this would be a skip for me.
Yes. As of right now, I think we're all pretty unanimous in that.
Like I struggle bust to get through the
I'm
rest of this episode.
unopinionated about it.
Dude,
Like,
I struggle
didn't-
bust it, and there's cute fox girls. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay, the scene where he was petting the tail was just awkward and hilarious.
Awkwardly sexual. That's what that was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Well, see,
It's like, okay,
I actually
she's having
laughed
an
about
orgasm
it though,
here.
in an awkward
God,
way.
man,
It was
you guys
awkward
need to
laughter,
watch
and I'm sad
Dragon
about it.
Maid. You guys really need to watch Dragon Maid. There's a lot of tail memes going on in that show.
He's like,
Oh,
oh,
man.
it's so soft and fluffy like our household cat. When I was
She's
growing
just
up,
like,
she's having an orgasm. Like,
Wait,
Oh yeah,
It's-
no, she's
Oh.
like, she's
Oh.
getting off on it.
okay.
You didn't connect those
Dale,
dots, did you?
Dale is
Nope.
not used to seeing what those is, I'm guessing, and so he didn't recognize.
Look, you guys know what was happening. Okay, I missed it.
We watch a lot more hentai.
I know.
Copper just blindly agreeing.
I think Dale watches none, so yeah, we probably do.
Yeah.
Wait,
But,
what now?
You know, maybe Dale has, you know, H anime like favorited on his computer. I don't know.
I don't
Uh,
watch.
yeah,
oh,
he's,
hentai? No, I don't watch hentai.
Yeah, he's hentai haven all the time.
No,
He cried
Wait.
when they were shutting it down.
no, not at all.
He actually works at Faku and was the person who got it reinstated.
Is
This
that
why we're
another
on
porn
18 plus,
site?
by the way,
Okay.
because I'm making porn
We
jokes.
I'm not gonna not do this podcast on 18 plus.
Yeah, it's.
I definitely
Please.
thought about it earlier because
Please.
I wanted to try to channel 1 today, but I was like, you know what? Or we could not try to
Or we
get
could-
kicked off of Mixer.
Yeah, let's.
I just got partnered like a week ago. I don't need to lose it that fast.
Right. Yeah. No, I will never not do this podcast on 18 plus. I always mark the
No.
podcast as explicit too. I don't want to.
You know, give it a month first. Like then you get.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Oh, what's this? So there's
Art
rewards on Mixer
unpartnered
for-
comfy 2019. About 2020. Do it 2020.
No, somebody deleted it. No. Oh, he deleted it. Okay. That's fine. I understand. Oh man. So, hey, what have you guys been up to this week?
Division 2 and work.
Yeah. Division 2 work. It was so nice to have that half day Monday. I just didn't fucking do anything.
Oh man, I've been all over the place this week because my body has been dying.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a lot more Sekiro. You know.
Oh yeah. What
I
new
sat
game are you
down-
up to?
So on Friday, I sat down to finish my New Game Plus run, which I was
Mhm.
doing the return ending, which is the hardest. It's the longest one to get. It's the best ending. And I finished that, and then I started my New Game Plus run, which I was going to do the purification ending, which is the hardest objectively because you have to fight an extra couple bosses. And then I finished that in the same night. And then
So you kind of like
yesterday,
somewhat
and then
speed running it.
yesterday I started my New Game Plus run.
No, he just didn't sleep.
Where no, I did it in
Oh,
like
okay.
5 hours. And yesterday I started my New Game Plus run. We're
Teal
doing
says it was
the-
cool.
We're doing the Shura run, and I made it all the way to the final boss without dying. So that was super
Nice.
fun. I very much so enjoy that game. I've been playing it a lot. I know everything about it now, except how to beat that one specific boss that I have never fought before. And I'm still learning it.
No, I've been grinding stuff in Division, trying to get ready for the raid that is coming up. There'll be need to
Yes.
solidify a raid team.
Mhm.
Wait, is that Thursday or
Um,
Friday? It's Thursday,
Is
right?
the 20
Next
would-
Thursday?
Is it the
Oh,
25th or
calendar.
26th?
What's the 25th?
If it's 25th, it is Thursday.
Yeah, it's
Oh
next
fuck!
Thursday.
It's not even this week. It's next week.
Yeah, we've got another.
Oh my
we've got
God,
a
I've
little
been
more time to
planning-
go still.
Okay, I'm so bad at stuff. Good God,
Mm.
No, we've
I
got
am-
some time still, which is
I am a
good.
moron sometimes. Chat.
Because
God, I have a lot of time.
I'm-
Yeah, I'm already
unlike
raid ready.
most
I
peop-
feel like honestly, like
Oh.
I honestly probably won't even touch Division 2 until Thursday. Then to do the
well, there's the thing. Like
reset stuff. I might do a
for-
little bit, but
like being 500 is not enough to be raid ready. I don't think. you're gonna
Mhm.
need
Oh,
a build.
absolutely not.
So which is what I've been doing, right? Like I know everybody's rushing to get to 500 and then do builds, which is not what I've done. I've
You
gone the
want to
opposite
start
way.
your build a little bit before 500.
Yeah.
I got my build complete at 480, and since then I've just been upgrading pieces as I find actual upgrades, which is great. I'm now up to 490 because finding upgrades to the very specific things I'm looking for is not exactly easy.
Right. Gotcha.
But my biggest thing that's holding me back right now from being probably at 500 is my gloves, because my gloves are sitting at 450, which is killing me. And aside from that, I've been starting to farm pieces for a pistol build, because if you've
A
ever looked
pistol
at the
build?
pistols, yes. I haven't mentioned this to you.
Really?
So pistols in this game are super strong. Like if
They're
I
a
look
lot
at my
stronger than
weapons
Division
right,
1.
yeah, if I look at my weapons right now, my AR base damage is 18.6k, right?
Uh-huh.
And my pistol is 25 point something. So my pistol does more base damage, but I'm spec'd into assault rifles, so I'm actually going to end up doing more damage with assault rifle. But there are specific perks and gear set bonuses, as well as some talents you can mix in that increase your damage overall to increase your pistol damage as well. And I've been looking at it, and I think it's possible to get 50k per bullet from my pistol. 50k is the same damage a sniper rifle would give you for base damage, but pistols fire at almost automatic speed. So,
Oh my god. Copper, if you
Yeah.
go into the raid with a fucking pistol build and you out damage me, I'm going to be very sad.
I'm going to
at
be
that point, it's your
laughing the whole time.
You're right. At
Like,
that,
realistically, it's your fault at that point.
sure.
But if,
Like,
if I'm in the raid and I'm out damaging people with marksman rifles and snipers, I'm going to be laughing my ass off the whole time.
Yeah. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like I could definitely do a lot more to my build, but I also want to do some other stuff as well. But like, all I need for like the build is I need a perfect light machine gun. Like, I just want a really good big boy light machine gun roll. I'm already using the Chatterbox, the exotic SMG.
And I keep getting them when
I know you
you're
do.
not in my party, because
I
I got
know you-
another one today.
What's on it so I can be
I
sad.
love that there's loot sharing in Division 2.
There is Unhinged and Allegro on it,
Yeah.
and I think it's got Stop, Drop, and Roll.
You fucker.
So it's got like
Is it an
tier 1 perks
MK46
all the way
too?
down.
Or maybe an
it's one of the ones
RPK.
with like 100. It's
Okay.
one of the ones with 100 rounds in it. So
Like, I feel like the M60 is the weakest of those because it fires the slowest.
well, Allegro helps, and then you can also stack the.
See, Allegro's kind of useless on the M60 though, because it already fires so
it
slow.
already
but, like,
fires so fast. Yeah,
but like, no, it fires so slow, so that extra 10%
10 doesn't do much for it.
doesn't do shit. You know?
I need to farm tier 3 control points as well, because I really want the sturdy 5.56 mag just for the 20 extra rounds
Yeah.
rather than 10 extra rounds, because that's such a huge damage increase.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because if I could just throw that on like a L86, that'd be great.
There's some LMGs that are 5.56.
Yeah,
So
the L86 is it. That's it. That's the only option
Yeah.
there that would use those magazines. I would love to find one for an RPK. If I could get an RPK to have like a decent magazine increase, that'd be dope too. Because RPK is really solid. Honestly.
what's the rounds they take?
7.62.
The
That's a
7.62?
7.62. Yeah.
So
Man, you guys are just, this is all Greek to me.
Oh man, just give.
that's because you haven't even hit level 30 yet. And
Oh, yeah,
really
I'm
need to
level
drag your
24
ass.
still.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Comfy, let us carry you, please.
I have a-
not
okay.
denied getting carried.
I have a massively fast. So I introduced Dale to a couple of things. One of them being the stacked bounty farm, which is a quick way to farm gear. It also massively farms money and experience. So it's probably the fastest leveling method as well.
Yeah. I mean, I have side quests that I still have to
So,
do.
oh no, this will be faster than doing a side quest. Like you can
Okay.
earn like over 100k experience in like 10 minutes. Like it's stupidly quick. You, however, might get shot and killed really easily.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we'd still
I
be able
get
to.
shot and killed very easily, regardless.
Honestly, it would take like 2 runs for us to give Comfy some like 450 plus crap. So
Okay, yeah, here we go, Dale. Sturdy extended 7.62 mag, 20 extra rounds. So
20?
it exists. 20 extra rounds.
Oh, that would put the RPK at 65. That would be hot. Like, I want that. Give me.
So there is a thing. So you're gonna have to do the same thing as farm checkpoints.
Yeah,
But
and then I'm gonna have to try
I'd
to
love
find a.
to,
That wouldn't
get you
fit on a
back in
belt
Division.
fed though, would it?
Start going through. It depends. As long as it's a 7.62, it's got a 7.62 magazine.
Yeah,
mod,
see,
you
those
can
don't
stick
have
it in.
magazines. Like they treat
Belt fed
the
ones.
belt feds different.
Mm,
They don't have magazines. They treat them differently.
yeah, so you'd need to find one that has one then.
Yeah. But no, putting that on an RPK would be really good. Like if I could get one of those with unhinged, Allegro, and stop, drop, and roll, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
So we've discovered, Comfy, that talents are better in general than gear set bonuses. So you can stick a bunch of talents on your character, right, from different
You know
armor
what? I
pieces
could
and
farm
whatnot.
for an actual set piece or an actual
And-
build because
You'll actually end up doing more damage. Like
Yeah,
my
I
AR
would.
build, when the talents are active, stacks over 200% damage. So it just melts stuff. And I don't think the AR build is the top tier DPS build. I think you can go higher with light machine guns and possibly even higher with pistols.
But you know what? At the same time, it is good to have. Like I feel like the True Patriot's the only gear set that I've seen that's actually worth it. Like it's a good support kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Like those
the True Patriot
debuffs
is
are
good.
hot.
It's a very good support set.
So I'm going to keep rocking that, but I'm going to try to piece together something else as well if I can. So we'll see. Let's see what I end up doing.
But yeah, I'd love to get Comfy back into Division because it's
Yeah.
super fun, and you know,
I like the game. I have been either sick and dying or busy as hell. So
well, yeah, you're coming to the end of your school year, which is an insanely busy time for any student.
Yeah, I have
And
2 weeks
then-
left.
Yep, and then you've also been insanely sick. Plus, you
Yeah.
hit, your partnership thing, and that's been a whole thing to
I've
take
been-
care of and do.
I've been
Oh,
sending
yeah.
emails all week trying to get some cool stuff. We got super lucky. We were able to snatch an E3 media pass, so I'm gonna definitely try to do some coverage from there.
Yep, Mixer partners do count as media for E3, which is cool.
So
Oh, that's cool.
Mixer came in clutch, and I got the pass for that. So
Very nice.
I'll be in LA for that, mostly because I already live there. But
Yeah, that's a
I'll
good
be-
benefit.
Oh
for you.
shit! I forgot about that. Damn it!
Yeah,
So,
he
but I'll
lives
be
right
in LA
nearby,
with
so
God damn!
it's
I was
not
about
like
to
Comfy
say,
has to pay for a hotel and
Right,
flights. It's,
yeah.
you can just
that's the
kinda go
only
to the
reason I
event,
can
right?
do it. Like, listen, Guardian Con's my big expenditure of the year, but I have to pay for a hotel room for like a week.
Mm.
I have to pay for cross country flights, plural. And then I have to pay for all of my like food and activities. Like that's
Charlie's.
it's expensive. Oh my god. Charlie's
Disney.
gonna hurt my oh my god. Do you think that I can afford to go to Disney?
No, 'cause
No,
Disney is
I
expensive
can't.
as shit.
Yeah.
Dude, Disneyland in California, not Disney World in Florida. I know the difference, trust me. So Disneyland, they have been raising their prices
Mhm.
over the past like 10 years, just trying to make it so that less people will come to the park because it's so goddamn crowded and unbearable.
Does
And
it
people
work?
just keep paying the same prices. They keep paying those prices.
Yep.
They
Crazy.
upped it. I'm not even kidding. I remember when it was $150 for me to get an annual pass. And I had
Oh, Jesus.
like 60 blockout dates in the middle of the summer, and that was it. But I only went like in the off season because the summer sucks. Never go to Disney in the summer.
Summer is way too hot to go to Disney.
It's
too
also
many-
it's also
too many
super
people.
crowded.
yeah.
You
There's
want
too
to
many
go?
people.
You want to go on a cloudy Wednesday in November? That's the best day to go.
See, when I've
Sounds
gone
about
to
right.
Disney,
I would love to go
um,
at that point.
So I've gone to Disney a couple times and stayed a week.
Never been.
each time.
Well,
But
That's
I
true.
go in like December or January because what
Mm-hmm.
you people down there find cold, I'm
What
out
do you
there
mean,
in
you
shorts.
people?
Okay,
Americans.
see, you say that California doesn't get cold, dude.
No.
Like,
Oh
like,
no,
I'm
I've gone
very
there
aware
and
of
seen
that.
Americans, and I know they're American, who are dressed in like pants. They've got gloves on. They've got like a big puffy coat. They're wearing a
Gloves?
toque.
That's
Yeah,
too
they're
much.
dressed for winter, like actual winter, like northern winter. And I'm like, what? How is this cold to you?
Listen,
Where do you live?
I will wear a thin jacket and I will wear jeans, but that's because that's what I wear anyways. And I look for an excuse to wear that. So I'm wearing that as long as it's less than 80 degrees outside.
See, I don't
Oh
put.
God.
I only in the winter. The most I wear is a hoodie and a pair of gloves if I got to touch stuff like shovel and stuff like that because stuff that's left outside.
'Cause
The shovels
cold
are
metal and
freezing
all
cold,
that,
and I don't want to stick to it.
Lick it.
No deal.
Okay.
I don't know
I
what your obsession
triple
with licking
dog
tools is.
dare you.
But so yeah, like if it's not below 0, I don't wear a coat. Like I don't even wear a hoodie. It's not cold. So
Oh man, fucking big man over here.
hold on.
I don't wear a jacket. It's not that cold. You guys are a little baby. I haven't worn a jacket since I was 5 years old.
So that's 32 degrees in the weird Fahrenheit that you people use.
Yeah,
That's when it starts. After that, it starts getting cold.
No, like
Yeah,
I remember
agree.
spending $150 for a not even the bottom tier, like the mid tier pass at Disneyland.
Mhm.
It now costs more than that to get in for the day.
Yeah, that's not surprising
The
at all.
lowest tier pass is upwards of $400 now, and that used to be the pass that got you in every single day of the year, including like Christmas and all that fun stuff. Which, fun fact, they jack up prices for Christmas because they do all their holiday stuff. Never go on that day though. Never go. God, it's terrible. I've never been, but I know people who have. It's not worth it.
I can imagine it gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
Bunch of spoiled brats. Pardon my language. It is imagine the people who can afford to go to Disneyland on Christmas Day. It's exactly who goes to Disneyland on Christmas Day. And I knew people who had the like premium pass that had no blockout dates, and they went there one year and they were like, "Holy shit, goddamn, never again." So, that was back when those costed like $300. So, never forget. Disney is too expensive for my blood. But you know what's not too expensive for my blood is an HBO subscription. Hey, do you guys watch Game of Thrones?
No, never
actually,
heard of it.
I think Game of Thrones is shit.
You guys don't watch fucking Game of Thrones? You guys make me sad.
No, I do. I was kidding. We're gonna watch it.
Dale actually does. I actually think the show is complete shit, and the books are even worse.
I feel like you're just mad that you didn't write it.
No, Martin is one of the worst writers I've ever read, and I've read thousands of books. He's awful. His books are so bad, I put them down, which is something I almost never do with books.
It seems we have a contrarian.
He's just a bad writer.
Kill him. Listen, I won't defend the guy's writing. I like the world that he made, though.
The world might be interesting, but he's too much of it. Like, he's a discovery writer, which is fine. But he's not very good at it.
Right.
I mean, neither am I, though.
Yeah, but you're
at least I'm not trying to publish books, though.
Yeah, like you're not someone who wants to be an author who's, thinks he's like, writing the best stuff, that he's up there with people like Tolkien and stuff like that. And I get some people don't like Tolkien. Tolkien writes in a very old-fashioned style, and there's a reason for it.
It is hard to read Tolkien books.
It is, but
he wrote.
Yes, his books are written that way because they're meant to invoke thought for one, but they're meant to mimic and invoke the old tales and sagas from certain cultures, which are very, very complex and very, very dense. And that's what he did with his stories, because the stuff where he wrote that isn't meant to invoke that, like, so if you're looking at Lord of the Rings, it's meant to do that. If you look at the Hobbit's just as well written, but it's nowhere near as dense. Much easier to read. And some of his other stuff is the same way.
The Hobbit was my introduction into the Lord of the Rings world.
It
was an
people's
easier book for me to read when I was super young.
Yeah, it's a lot of people's introduction to Tolkien. It's a lot of people's introduction to fantasy.
I mean, Tolkien is basically the godfather of current fantasy.
Yeah, he's the reason we have high fantasy.
Whether you like him or not, he is the reason that we have high fantasy.
Yeah. And Martin is a pale imitation and doesn't hold a candle to the other writers who were, his contemporaries like Robert Jordan. Like Jordan, way better. Erickson, much better. Rothfuss, still better. And Rothfuss is another Discovery writer. So, Martin's just not a good fantasy author.
You guys are speaking Greek to me.
These are different authors, and I read a lot.
I guess.
Nerd.
Yeah, if I'm not like obscenely busy, I'll read 1 or 2 novels a week at least.
I remember when I used to be able to do that.
It's expensive. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's not only expensive, but like it drains you like mentally.
See, I don't have, for me, sitting down and reading for like 5-6 hours to read through a novel is just as good as resting for sleep. For me, it's like restorative rather than draining.
See, there you go. I'm illiterate, so
I couldn't tell you the last time I read a book. I will every once in a while, but it's not very often. Just not a preferred media. I love stories, but I prefer watching them on TV.
I like
and
reading.
stuff.
Something has to like really hook me though to actually read it.
I don't dislike reading. It's just never. I'm never just like, oh man, I can't wait to go read a book. I don't know, just not me. I don't know. Nothing wrong with it. I wish I did because like
it's not for everybody.
great.
That's the
like
thing.
every
Like,
time I read a book and I've enjoyed it, I've been like, fuck yeah. But like typically, I'm just.
Have
like,
you read the Star Wars books? Like that seems something that would be up your.
I read the
alley.
Aftermath series, which is the right after Return of the Jedi, and it talks about like Leia's pregnant during the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
Man,
I've read
that's
that trilogy.
She's pregnant with the
good.
Force baby that Emperor Palpatine put into her. That's
Oh God,
man. you segue so well into Star Wars. Wow.
was that planned? Jesus
No.
Christ.
so.
No,
That's the other
okay.
big announcement for this weekend, as I think everybody is aware that it's
yeah.
the whole Star Wars thing going on, and we got a trailer for a new game coming out that looks interesting.
And a new movie.
I'm very excited.
But it's a story trailer, so we don't know much about gameplay yet. But I have hopes for this one.
The combat, from what we've heard from Vince, is easy to pick up, very difficult to master. You can button mash to get through it, but you don't want to if you want to actually do well in it.
Okay.
The story looks really interesting. Respawn has never made a bad game, so
Everything I've heard about this game makes me think it is basically the newer Assassin's Creed, so like Origins and stuff like that, like the 2 newer ones, but with Star Wars.
It seems to me like it's going to be like this generation's Jedi Knight Jedi Academy.
Like it looks like they took inspiration from that. It looks like they took inspiration from other really good action RPGs and went, screw it, we're going to do that with a Star Wars game, because why the hell not?
Being the devs of Titanfall, they added wall running.
Yeah, there's wall running.
Nice.
They've got a lot of the guys from God of War. There's a few people involved with that. I think one of the heads is one of the guys who's made God of War. So story-wise and whatnot, this should be good. It is not on the Frostbite engine.
Thank God.
Which is surprising because the EA as came out through Jason Schreiber, whatever his name is, that EA's CEO is basically forcing all of their studios to use Frostbite for all of their games.
Which is one of the reasons Anthem is a steaming pile of garbage right now.
It's one of the reasons the Anthem devs have such a problem.
Because they were apparently...
And not just them, a few other games too. Apparently they're making the newest Dragon Age. So Dragon Age 4 is on Frostbite.
Yeah, that's going to be... Apparently, I don't want to jump down the rabbit hole of Anthem development because it's a fun conversation, but it's
more than Anthem. It's more than Anthem for sure. It's a huge issue for EA.
But specifically for Anthem development, they spent months at BioWare trying to figure out how to get Frostbite to work in third person.
Yeah, because
it does trying to get the camera angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the engine's not built for it. They could have used
No, listen.
if they had something like Unreal, they would have been done in like 2 weeks. Like
Yeah, but EA doesn't want to pay royalties.
They don't want to pay out. Yeah, they don't want to pay out the royalties.
Respawn.
But
There's one of the things that gives me hope for the future.
For the Star Wars game, they are using Unreal for it, and I think part of the reason is they pissed off the House of Mouse. Previously, would start with the Star Wars stuff they put out, and
like it was garbage.
Ended up getting a call from
Bob Iger.
Directly, and he was not happy, and he's a man you want unhappy, especially when you are using licenses that he owns and is responsible for. And I think that part of the reason they got some of the God of War guys to come and agree to work on it might have been them saying, we're not using Frostbite, we're going to use Unreal.
Well,
I have a good feeling that was probably part of the discussion with them.
Something that gives me hope for the future is that like Respawn appears to have had more freedom than any other developer under EA's banner.
Which is surprising.
It is, and it's amazing because Respawn is easily the best developer that they have under their banner right now.
Mm-hmm.
They are a group of game veterans who created two entire generations of shooters.
Mm-hmm.
First with the Modern Warfare genre, creating Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. That was Vince and his team. They worked at Infinity Ward at the time, and they were kicked out of their own company after Modern Warfare 2. Believe it or not, that's when Call of Duty started to take a downhill trend. Wonder why that happens.
Yeah.
Not to knock Treyarch, because they're still great dev, but until Black Ops 4, but we won't talk about that right now. And then they made Titanfall, which added verticality to shooters, which then everybody did immediately afterwards, but nobody did it better. And then they released Apex Legends, which I don't care how you feel about BRs. It's the best one on the market. It's the cleanest. You actually just play the game. It's just better than PUBG, which is a broken mess, Blackout, which is pathetic, and
which they basically.
Fortnite is the only contender, but Fortnite is an entirely different style of game at this point.
Yeah, 100%. Like it has blown every other first-person shooter BR out of the water.
Yeah, and like you are totally allowed to dislike BRs and not want to play Apex and hate that Respawn made Apex. You can do that. That's totally fine. But like you have to respect what they've done in the workspace.
Yeah. They've done incredible work. So because they're behind this, because of some of the people they brought in, because they're not using Frostbite, I've got hopes for this game. I'm not holding out a lot of hope for a lot of other EA games because of the news that they're forcing everyone to use Frostbite, and it's like I've got no hope for Dragon Age 4 now.
No, absolutely not. Dragon Age Inquisition was an awesome game, and it's going to be 4 is going to be a mess.
A lot of the guys left. One of the guys for the Dragon Age team left once he was told that they're forcing him to use Frostbite. He just went okay and left the company.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
That's not good, especially when they're one of the creative heads. So they've lost key person. They lost key personnel. They're going to be forced to use an engine that doesn't really work. And we're probably going to see a repeat of what happened with Anthem's development, where they pull team members off to go work on things like FIFA because it needs help.
Yeah, like, man, I didn't want to get into it, but man, BioWare just sounded like a shitty place to work. Like,
yeah,
more so than
like
other game development companies.
And it comes down to management. Like every other studio that takes a turn south, it's not the devs who work there. The devs who work there are almost never the problem with the studio, because if a dev is a problem for a studio and they're the sole issue for a problem, they don't work there anymore.
Yeah.
But when management is the problem, or oversight from the owners of the studio, such as in this case EA, interfering with how the studio runs, like forcing them to use a particular engine because they don't want to pay for royalties for something that would work 1,000 times better at the least, like you've got problems that you take months or years or even never be able to solve. Like, so I'm not holding a lot of hope for them as a studio. I'm not holding a lot of hope for a lot of EA games overall.
BioWare is going to be the next studio on the chopping block, and it's going to be sad.
Yep.
And EA doesn't care because FIFA makes so much goddamn money, they don't need a single other.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go on your thing of like the devs, like if a dev is a problem, to quote Goth, like he sat across the room from one of the people who said that 2 primary weapons in Destiny was a great idea. That person doesn't work at Bungie anymore. Because of that, they made a bad development move and they were punished for it. That is how it works. Like,
but if management screws up, well, shit rolls downhill, folks.
if management screws up, your game is gone. Like, that's just how it is. And hey, maybe one day we'll get Endgame and Anthem, but by the time that the devs actually figured out what they were doing, management decided to say nah.
Yeah. But to go back to Star Wars, I've got hope for this game because of everything that's involved. But the other big news we got was the trailer for Episode 9.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Which has, start off, as every one of these does, a firestorm of speculation because we've got the title. So now there's a question, is Rey actually a Skywalker? Is it, the completionist arc of Ren's redemption cycle, which
God, I hope it's not a redemption cycle,
which would be the most likely because that's the most classical storyline. And shocking, it should be to no one. Star Wars likes to follow tropes, especially considering its storylines. So with the movies, so I kind of expect the Skywalker Rising to be Kylo and not be shocked by that.
For him
whatsoever.
to redeem himself.
And not form a Jedi Order, but maybe form a Grey Order instead. This is the last Skywalker movie we are getting. After this, the Skywalker movies are done. We're done with the Skywalker family.
Thank God.
Fuck. And we are actually getting a small break from Star Wars movies because they've got some TV shows that are coming out they're going to be focusing on, which is cool because they're using actors from some of their other movies. Like the Mandalorian focuses on a spy who was in Rogue One. Now we know his ultimate fate, but this is kind of his story before that, which is cool. I want to see that. That's an interesting story to me. They've got their whole, streaming service launch. They've got other stuff coming out for TV shows that are starring movie stars, like Tom Hiddleston. He's in one of the starring roles for one of the movies. There's another one's about Scarlet Witch and Vision. Like they're going full bore throwing money at this thing because fuck it, they can. So that'll be interesting, and that's going to be a focus for them. And once those are off and running, then we're probably going to get our next announcement for the next Star Wars movie, and I expect it to either be set a couple hundred years past the point of our current movies or a few thousand years before. Because there's a lot of stuff that's very interesting in Star Wars history that they can just cover and use.
So we know we have 2 other trilogies that we know we're getting. We're getting one by Rian Johnson, which is going to be later. That's not going to be the near one. Oh my God, what am I playing? And then we're getting one from DB Weiss and Benioff, who are the showrunners for Game of Thrones. Who, regardless of how you feel about the world, have done an excellent job running that show,
right,
and telling that story. And everybody is hoping that they are going to do Old Republic.
Yeah, everybody's hoping for going past, which is cool.
Yeah,
so
the Old Republic has some like insanely cool shit.
Would be super cool.
Yeah. So aside from the name of the movie starting speculation, we've got The Laugh. So
that's definitely Palpatine.
That is 100% Palpatine, and you're supposed to recognize it. We've even had his actor tweet out something
Dark Side
really
of the Force
interesting.
is more powerful than ever.
Yeah, which is cool.
And Ian McDiarmid was at the Star Wars Celebration as well.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Reunited with Hayden Christensen after who knows how long.
So it's shaping up to be very interesting where they're going with the movie. There's a lot of speculation. Like Palpatine might still be alive. He might have been Snoke in disguise.
If he's like actually still alive and like that body never died, I'm gonna be annoyed.
Well, there's the thing. We've gone over, like I've mentioned to you in chat before,
right.
That in Star Wars Legends, which is basically all the stuff that Disney isn't recognizing as canon, Palpatine didn't die.
Yeah, he can use the midichlorians to create. Yeah,
he didn't actually die when he got tossed into the heart of the Death Star there. What happened was his body died, but he was able to use the Force to transfer his consciousness to a clone that he had already prepared. Because Palpatine is someone who thinks ahead in long-term plans.
Sure,
Which
gotcha.
should surprise no one, really, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to
plotted the whole
be that
downfall of
guy.
the Jedi for how long, and actually is the only person to ever pull it off. Like, the Sith have been at war with
Did
these
he
guys
really,
for millennia,
though?
and he's like, "Fuck you, we're just gonna do this smart." So he did that. He actually gets stronger in the Force, in the dark side, throughout that, because he's now the only dark side user left, which kind of helps.
Well, besides
And-
Kylo.
Well, in the Legend stuff, he was the only one left at that point.
Gotcha.
So, and then he kind of goes that way. So they can pull from that and go, yeah, he didn't die there. He transferred his spirit, or his spirit is, lingering just like a Jedi spirit does. But
Right.
for those who know the lore, Sith spirits tend to get stuck wherever they die, right? Like they're stuck in their tombs. So that might explain why they're going to the Death Star.
That makes sense.
He might have been, using the Force to corrupt Kylo the whole time and controlling Snoke. Like that might have been what he was doing.
That would explain why Snoke was so easy to kill, because if
he's just a puppet,
right,
and he wouldn't have cared if the body died.
Correct. Yeah,
because his whole thing is to corrupt Kylo completely, and maybe prepare Kylo to be, his new vessel. So that might be what he was, working towards. It's hard to say, right, what his plans are, because Palpatine is someone who plans ahead in, decades. So all that's possible.
Maybe this was Maybe this was how Darth Plagueis the Wise could stop himself from dying, because he would just take over another body.
Well, Plagueis died.
Plagueis is dead, dude.
He's confirmed dead. What happened is that...
Never mind.
Yes. So the Emperor was his...
The only thing he feared was losing his own power.
Yeah, the Emperor was his student, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Killed him in his sleep.
Knowing that he was now ready to take over from his master, but his master had methods to stop himself from dying, he got him rip-roaring drunk. And then when he was passed out asleep, he murdered him. That's how he killed his master.
Ironic. He could save others from death,
but not
himself. I had to make the joke. I did.
So he's confirmed dead. 100% Palpatine made sure he was dead.
Okay.
So he's gone. So Plagueis is not a thing. I know there's a lot of, theories online, like it's Plagueis. Like, it shouldn't be Plagueis, because Plagueis is 100% dead.
He's supposed to be dead.
Like, it's not even a question. Because Palpatine is supposed to be one of the strongest users of the dark side Force. He learned everything Plagueis had to teach. So what Plagueis knew, he knows.
Right. Okay.
So there's a good chance that the person who saved himself from death, it wasn't Plagueis, it was him. So I'm curious to see where they go with this, especially since this is supposed to be the last one that ties everything up. I'm glad that Luke is gone. Luke was a shitty ass hero.
Luke was a garbage character.
I'm not sorry, whole Star Wars fans. Luke.
Anybody who tells you otherwise, it has rose-colored glasses.
Like, Luke is
I grew up with Star Wars. I love Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is great. Luke's, a hero. Sure. Is he a good hero? No. Why? Because he doesn't fucking think things through.
I was gonna go to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
Like, he whines a lot.
Luke starts off the series
choices.
a whiny bitch who is annoying to listen to.
Yes, and then
anybody who tells you otherwise has rose-colored glasses and isn't looking at it objectively.
And from there, he develops into a character who does not think through his actions. Like, he's training to become a Jedi. He's not even halfway trained. He senses, oh, there's danger here. Like, I should probably go. And Yoda's like, if you go, you're going to get you or someone else killed. Something bad's going to really, is going to happen. He's like, I'm going to go anyway. Goes anyway. Never gets to finish training in the Force, because Yoda ends up dying and doesn't have the time to teach him at that point, because Yoda's old as shit, and ends up losing a hand. Now, for those who aren't aware, the Force requires living tissue. If you start losing some of your losing tissue,
you fucking nerd, and I love it.
You actually end up losing some of your power. So he actually got weaker because of this thing. Which is
let's also point out that he
also
was
killed.
alone on an island pretending to be a monk for years and didn't read the 6 fucking books that he had.
Yeah, he didn't read the books. He refused to. He refused to use the Force at that point. He was going to kill his nephew because he he had a vision of his nephew turning to the dark side. So he's like, well, rather than that happen, which is a possibility only from these visions, which he full well knows, rather than keep training him to become a good person, he's like, I'm just going to murder him.
Look, he
And
doesn't
he's like,
actually
"Listen,
want
it
to
was my
follow
one
through.
moment of weakness. You can't
Right.
judge me for it. Listen, dude,
You're
I
going to
don't
murder
like
a
kids
kid.
either, but
Like,
I've never tried to kill one of them
you were going to
because of
straight
it.
up murder a child who, because you think at some point he might do something and become evil. And
Well,
you're the person who's supposed to teach him not to be evil. So it's like,
Look,
how big
I
of a
feel like The
screw-up
Last
happened?
Jedi was just a garbage movie the whole time. So like,
You know what? Last
But
Jedi
that's
still
not-
has one of the best cinematic
But the
moments
first
in
three
Star
movies
Wars.
have
does it
horrible
though?
choices.
Which one is it? The
through
one where
Luke as
Rose
well.
kisses Finn?
Why would you think that at all? Rose is a garbage character, and
I agree.
the
I was just
problem-
being a dick. All right, I
Rose is a
hate that.
garbage character, and I feel so bad for that actress because she did such a good job playing that character, but she was just handed a bad script.
Right.
And
Yeah,
oh my
that
god, the
actress,
people
I
who
really
bullied
like that
her-
actress.
it was
Actually,
What?
that actress, that particular actress, I like her.
Oh yeah, no, she did
Love
great.
I'd love her to get like a more interesting script, a more active like action role, like become an actual heroine. I'd love to see that because she's great. I love her.
Yeah, no, like, but like people were bullying her because her character.
Oh yeah, the
was
whole
garbage.
online thing. It's like I don't like your character.
Like she had
So
it.
you're
She had a
horrible. It's like, how does
bad
that work?
character, a bad script, and a bad plot line that kind of ruined a character that everybody else liked. Just because like she dragged Finn on this stupid adventure that literally through the entire movie accomplishes nothing.
Yes, yeah.
Literally
the fact
nothing.
that accomplished nothing was
That's the worst part about it.
That should have gone somewhere.
Exactly. That's absolutely the worst part about it is that if they stayed with the group, nothing bad would have happened. Like,
Yes,
I'm sorry, not nothing bad would have happened, but nothing would have changed. Like,
yeah,
would have been the exact same thing, and we
They would have never been able to save the like space horses. Meanwhile, the slave children were still slave children.
the only thing of interest we get through their trip was seeing the kid with force abilities,
Yes, that is the only thing we get.
which might become.
But
of
even
note
then,
later.
they could have shown that without.
Yeah, they
destroying
could have
the
shown that
entire
without
adventure.
that.
Also,
But the
the
worst
cinematic
part-
moment I'm talking about is when the admiral turns the ship onto the entire Imperial fleet and just goes to hyperspace,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was pretty dope.
which is easily my favorite cinematic moment in Star Wars. Because ever since they were like, "Yeah, this is light speed," I was like, "Man, what would happen if you drove that into a ship?"
explode.
Well,
Explode everything around it,
yeah, but like the way that they did it was just so good. They cut all the audio. They made it
Yes.
all black and white. They made it still. Like it was a moment. It wasn't just a thing that happened.
Yes, that was
It
a
was
very
just-
good thing.
It was
However,
so good.
my biggest issue with that movie was that particular general, because that general is the worst at handling people.
Yeah, no, it's like
So her whole issue is that she's now in control because Leia's been incapacitated. But rather than explain to one of the leaders of the other leaders of the rebellion,
Who's-
who has the loyalty of almost all of the troops about what's going on and what her plan is, she's like, "You don't need to know. I'm not telling you." So he's like, "Okay, fuck you then." Like,
he's literally like he's like, "What's the plan? I want to help out. We need the plan. We need to figure out what we need to do." And she's like,
Especially-
"Oh no. Don't worry. I got this under control. Fuck you. Disappear. You have lost your rank. I don't care about you anymore."
Especially
then-
when she knows he has a problem following orders he doesn't like.
he's got a problem following orders. Like, yes, he was technically demoted at that, like right before Leia was incapacitated, but your head of the rebellion and leader has just been incapacitated. You need every person who holds the loyalty and experience, of that type of person to lead troops and to make sure everybody else is on board as you can possibly get. So what
Right.
do? You tell him, "I'm not telling you anything. You've been just demoted. You people go stand down, and we'll handle this the way that I feel is best. And we're not telling you anything." It's like, that's not how you handle something after a
that's-
crisis.
Oh my god.
Like, no military commander would actually do that, and that made me angry that they had a character do that. It's like, no general who's supposed to have the experience and like background that this character they mentioned has would do that. It made no sense.
It was, yeah, that was, yeah.
And it just causes so many problems. And then she's like, and then she ends up dying. Why? Because she didn't want to explain what was going on. Like she could have lived, and he probably would have flown the ship into them, no problem. He probably would have volunteered for it.
Right.
But instead, she's like, no, I'm going to do it. It's like, why? You're the head of the rebellion at this point. Why the shit are you flying this into them? This is like the worst plan. You send somebody to do it for you who's happy to die for the rebellion. Like, I don't know, the dickhead over here who doesn't follow orders very well. Like,
It's just, it just amazes me. Like, and the thing is too, like that movie is the highest highs in Star Wars and the lowest lows.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
because
all
like
over the
also
place.
not just like that scene that I loved, the Kylo Ren versus Luke face off was incredible. The Kylo and Rey versus the throne room was incredible.
Yep.
Like there's just so many incredible moments in that movie, and it's ruined by all these other garbage scenes.
And then, then there's these other scenes. It's like they pieced together 2 scripts and just kind of went from there. That's
honestly
what it feels like at times. But the new one here is supposed to be written by someone else, I think. So
yeah,
I think we're going to get a better movie because I think Disney knows how unhappy everybody kind of was, like in different areas in different ways. And I think they're going to go with something that's going to, hopefully round everything out, put the universe in a good place. So we get like the quote happy ending kind of thing. And then just kind of leave it. Because you have a huge section of old Star Wars fans who think anything after like the original stuff
is garbage.
Is garbage and should never exist. Like the universe was at a happy ending. We had our happy ending. Luke was the hero. That's it. Anything after this is shit.
Cool. There's still books at the time that were canon that disprove that. So fuck them.
And they hate those books too.
Those people are fucking grandchildren. Those
are
like, you know how I have the adult virgin button? That's those people.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, no meme.
They're your, basement dwelling fedora wearing,
If you have nothing better to do than to shit on other people's work because you don't like the fact that it doesn't line up with your perfect space science fantasy universe, then fuck off. Like, come on, guys. What year is it? 2019? Don't you have better things to do?
No, that's the thing. They really, really don't.
But you get the concept.
What? Fuck, hold on a second. I need to think for a second. Like the you were talking earlier about how Rose and Finn's adventure didn't do anything at all. Didn't it bring back the guy that sold them out to the fucking Empire?
It did, but had they not gone on that adventure in the first place, they would never have been sold out to the Empire in the first place, and it wouldn't have actually altered anything from those scenes.
So that adventure hurt them.
Yes. That adventure.
They went on an adventure to do something
them and helped nobody.
Yeah, it actively injured them and did worse for them, and then helped nothing at the end.
Like that's why it's so garbage. Is because like from a story writing standpoint, it's a bad idea.
Now, their characters thinking, "Let's go do this thing to help everybody." Okay, I can see their characters doing it.
But the fact that like at the end of the day it changes nothing was
that's bad writing at that point.
But then how else are they going to fall in love? So rather than Finn sacrificing himself to stop the big door blowy uppy rocket, which would possibly have saved people, she had to kill him.
Right now, I'll be honest. I'll say it. Listen, that's the bromance right there.
Sure.
Rose can never take Poe's heart.
Poe's place, yeah.
Or Poe's place in Finn's heart. There you go. I'm still mad about it.
But I think we're gonna see. I don't think we'll see Rose and Finn get together. I think we're gonna see Rey and Kylo get together. I think that's gonna be our happy ending, and they're gonna join forces to fight and destroy like Palpatine once and for all. I think that's gonna be our happy ending for that.
So I don't want a redemption arc for Kylo.
I know, but they do
Star
classic
Wars
trope
has
stuff, and that's a classic trope.
That is the only Star Wars story that is ever fucking told is a redemption story.
Yes, right. That's the thing. That's the whole Star Wars thing, though. They just keep doing that over and over again. It's the universe is cyclical because we keep making the same goddamn mistakes in the Force.
But that's not the thing that draws people to Star Wars. People aren't drawn to Star Wars because of man, I can't wait to see the bad guy become a good guy again.
Oh, I
People are
know.
drawn to it because of the world, because of the characters. Like,
Mhm.
and if at the end of the day you tell the same story over and over with the same characters, it gets old, it gets stale. Did you play the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign?
Now, here's the thing.
No.
Okay,
we might get lucky, and the redemption arc might finish the other way, which is Kylo gets redeemed by sacrificing himself and dying.
Mhm. You know what? Maybe I'd be okay with that, because if he does get redeemed, I want him to die. But no, so the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign, first of all, very fun campaign, very well made. It
Okay.
was marketed for the entire year before the game came out as you are the dark side. This is the dark side. This is not a redemption story.
It's a redemption story, isn't it?
It's a redemption story.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
100%. Of course
They
it is.
specifically said it was not a redemption story and not a Star Wars story you've heard before. It's the same fucking story you've heard a million times. It's you being a goddamn stormtrooper and saying, "Hey, maybe we're the baddies," and then stopping being a stormtrooper. Like,
Mhm.
it was dumb. It was stupid from a story standpoint. I did not like it. The gameplay was really fun and enjoyable, and that's what made it bearable.
I don't
But
know.
like the writing was so bad because they just told you the same story you've heard before. That's one of the reasons I'm really excited for Fallen Order as well, is because like we've heard like Outcast Jedi stories, but they're all unique and different.
Yeah.
Like
They're
we're
not
getting
redemption arcs.
this one, we're getting Second Sister in it as an enemy. Like this is going to be really interesting.
I'm
We're
excited.
getting Second Sister. We're getting Inquisitors. Like,
I mean,
goddamn.
The Inquisitors are kind of shitty, but
We're getting
but they're there.
more lore. We're getting more things. Like
Yeah.
I've played Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. That takes place post episode 6. But even then, like you're hunting down and you're fighting new enemies and learning new things. And there's not a goddamn redemption arc because there doesn't need to be one. You're the good guy fighting bad guys.
I'm just hoping that in the new game that's coming, we're not forced to only do good things. I hope we can choose to do some things that are darker and more evil. I think that.
Did you play Force Unleashed?
No.
I played the first one. I didn't play the second.
Yeah, the Force Unleashed, you can absolutely decide to be a Sith.
Yeah. So I'm
is-
hoping they kept with that then, and I hope we can go the Sith route. I hope the rumors about our characters being like really customizable are a thing. I hope there's more than just humans as an option for the Padawan. that
we're
you get to
gonna
play.
we're gonna only play as that one character that you saw.
Well, the rumors that character we saw is customizable. So if those are not pre-rendered cutscenes and they didn't look like they were super
They said
pre-rendered,
that those are
Oh.
in engine.
yeah. So in that case, they can do customization on our characters, which would be great.
Mhm.
It
The-
could be
the
a
only thing
Rodian,
is,
like in
There was a hell of a lot of facial mocap there.
There was, but
Sure.
that's on a human though, right? Like they can get away with doing less for alien species. And there's other customization options, like you might be able to be female, you might be able to be, change stuff like that. So some customization would be great.
So the problem with that is they've told us who the actor is who's playing your main character, who is Cal.
Yeah.
So it is Cal, who is a dude. I don't know if you can customize that at all, but that is what we know about it.
Yeah. But that's not to say they haven't given us other information, such as there's a female actor, your name is still Cal, because that's not really a male or female name, right? Because it's not a.
Yeah.
So they could do that, which would be fine.
I mean, they
It's
could.
more money, but I mean,
I
it's
don't
Star Wars
expect
game. It's really
it to happen.
No,
I don't either.
but it would be a nice touch.
I agree.
I mean, it would be.
And we do know that it's not his lightsaber that you get, but you do upgrade it and evolve it over time.
Yeah.
So
That's
that'll be fun.
probably your master's one, since it looks kind of broken.
I don't think it's gonna be your master's. I think it's gonna be somebody else's from just a long ass time ago.
Yeah, it might be that too.
I make
But-
it pink. I want to make it pink.
We'll see.
I
I'm
don't-
sure you'll be
I
able
don't
to
know
change
if
the
there is a
crystal
pink.
out.
I'm sure.
I don't know if there's a pink blade. I know there's
Force
black,
Unleashed.
there's white, there's
Force
orange.
Unleashed had every color of the rainbow.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well,
Which, to be fair, everybody just chose black because it's the coolest color.
yeah, they're like, I'm going with the black blades. Like, those are super rare. Like,
They
and
are super dope, though.
and super evil. Like,
I mean, we've only seen one black lightsaber in the current canon, which was in Clone Wars, held by a Mandalorian.
yeah, but that's a different blade than the black lightsaber blades, right? That you get from Legends. So
yeah, but it's
the ones from Legends are super evil. Like they're Sith blades only because the Sith make the crystals for them.
I'm
So
gonna be right back.
yeah, that's fine. It's the same thing with like seeing orange blades. There's only 2 Jedi ever recorded to use them, and one didn't use it as his main lightsaber, and the other one who did, she didn't really ever use her lightsaber. She could avoid it, and she usually did. So,
God, yeah, there's like so many different books written in the Star Wars universe that most of them aren't even canon anymore.
that's the thing. A lot of them take place prior to the movies, right? By a few thousand years and stuff like that. So if Disney decides this is what we're going to do, we're going to go back into the history of Star Wars to go through all this stuff,
which
would make sense. It
I
gives
feel
them,
like they couldn't do, like, if they did that, they'd piss off a bunch of nerds.
they
Because they'd
might,
be like, oh, that's not right! And it's like, just
but those
just
nerds
go
are all going to be
forward.
happy
Just
that that stuff is coming back in
move
into
forward. You can't,
official canon.
you just can't keep looking back. You just got to move forward. That's what I
They
feel.
can, but if they're going to move forward, they've got to skip a couple centuries. They can't go, okay, it's been, 10,
no,
20
I don't
years,
disagree.
because
But
they need to make sure everybody's dead and things have been settled.
there is no way that they don't, if say they go back to the Old Republic, there's no way that they go back without doing something to the canon. Like they misstep somewhere, and
Well,
like,
see,
there's no way that they don't. It's,
Well, there's
it's
the thing, like-
impossible for them to do.
that's why Disney, when they first took over the licensing, they said, okay, here's what's canon. Everything else isn't. This is our property now. This is what, and this is how it is. And people are like, well, that sucks. You can't do that. Well, yeah, they can. They own it.
Yeah, but,
And
I still feel like
it
they
sucks
should
for older Star Wars fans. They didn't want to keep everything canon, but a clean slate isn't a bad thing because Lucas fucked up a lot of shit.
But the thing is that they, if say they go back into the Old Republic, if they go, okay, we're going back into the Old Republic, then it just makes it even more confusing as to what is canon and what is not canon. You know what I fucking mean?
Well, be anything published directly from Disney would be canon, right?
But why do
Plus,
that?
remember,
Why open that
they've-
can of worms when they can just move
Because
forward?
they've also done the smart thing labeling everything that's not official canon as Star Wars Legends stuff. And the thing with Legends is, well, Legends aren't always directly correct when you listen to them a few thousand years down the line. So they'd be going, here's the actual direct story, and whatever you heard that's slightly different is due to the variation of time, which is a very easy and cheap excuse, but it's one that actually physically works.
Yeah, okay.
So, and that's fine. Like, if they want to show me the story of Riven on screen, I'm all for that. They want to show me, some of the big wars they had before.
Like
I'm
I
for
would
that.
I would love them to be like, boom, here's a Revan trilogy about, like, it'd be great. I'd be down.
Yeah.
I would totally be down. But like,
And I'd like to see, like, I'd love them. Since
I
they've
would
got
still
two,
rather them go forward.
Well, there's
because
the thing.
then
They've
it's
got
like,
2 trilogies they're working on, right? I'd love one to be the Riven one, so they go back. I'd love the other one to be something that's like 5 centuries in the future from where Star Wars leaves off, like on episode 9. Because that gives us the best of both. They can start doing Legends movies, giving us the Tales of Legends stuff, which everybody's going to love, and then start doing new stuff where they're not beholden to anything and can just make stuff up as they go along.
sure.
That would be
I
their
see it.
best bet. If they do like the Star Wars one-shot movies like Rogue One, give me a Rogue One of something, a quality of Rogue One, but with Riven, right? And just give me 3, like the three movies of it. That's cool. Just keep doing that, because when Disney's not got their hands tied with dealing with all the old stuff that Lucas wrote and they've just kind of have to deal with, and old Star Wars fans' feelings on shit, they did amazing work. That's what Rogue One
Right.
is. Rogue One is an awesome movie and a great Star Wars movie,
Right.
and is not a redemption arc. That movie actually got really really dark.
I loved
surprisingly,
it.
for a Star
I thought
Wars
it was
movie.
great. I loved how they ended Rogue One.
because
Felt like it
they're
was a
like, okay, the
fantastic
movie's
fucking movie.
dead. This is how it ends. Everybody's dead.
All
And
my
you're like,
friends are
"Shit."
dead.
Like they're all
Yeah.
dead. It's like,
It's
yeah, they're
great.
permanently, like they're
I'm a
gone.
fan.
We're done.
I'm a fan.
Like,
You don't
and
need cool lightsaber battles to have cool
No.
movies.
we had interesting
I
characters.
am a huge
We
fucking
had-
fan of cool lightsaber battles, so please
Yes,
give
yeah,
me
I
more
love
of those.
lightsaber battles, but I'd like to see more bounty hunters and stuff like that.
Like
So
the battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan at the end of Revenge of the Sith is like
yeah, that's great.
redeeming of that whole fucking movie.
Yeah, that's the best part of the third.
It's so good.
by
Like
far.
it's so good. Yeah.
Because we all know where it's going. We know that this is the battle where Anakin loses and get turned into Vader. Like this is
Spoilers.
like that's the thing.
Spoilers,
Like,
guys.
so, like, give me a series that you're not beholden to, dealing with, 30-year-old, 40-year-old man-child feelings about, some
Yeah.
characters
Like
that
I agree, and I feel like
have served their time in the sun. They've had their moment. Like, people were mad Luke wasn't the hero of Episode 8. And of
I
Episode
don't-
7, they're like, well, how come Luke's not the hero? It's like, because he's fucking old. Like,
dude, look, don't even. You can be an old Jedi and still be a fucking badass. Don't even.
you can,
Don't
but
even.
are you going to get an actor able to do that? Especially when it's an actor who's an actual actor you've used previously who now is old and not in the greatest of shape physically?
Dude, it's modern technology.
They could
just,
use
like,
CG, but
yeah.
that's expensive and people would not be happy with
No,
it.
it doesn't have to be CG. Like they use stunt doubles all the fucking time.
They do, but it's more difficult. A stunt
Yeah,
double
but
has to
that's
match
like
someone,
that
though,
is
right?
that
That's the
that
thing,
is not
so.
even a reason for them to have not done something.
No, but they don't want to use Luke anymore. They're like, Luke is old. We're done. Like,
I agree. I agree with you, but I don't know. I don't like any of the like direction that the characters went in this game in the last
in the
movie.
movies. Yeah.
I thought The Force Awakens was not great, and I didn't like The Last Jedi. So I have no hopes for this next Star Wars movie. I hope, other than like, I want to see what happens. I want to finally have some closure.
I wanna see
Hopefully it'll
everything
blow
wrap
me
up,
away, but I don't
and I
expect
want to
much.
see them move past the Skywalkers finally. Like,
Right.
We're done with these. The next movies and the movies after that aren't going to deal with any more Skywalkers.
I don't
want
expect
another-
it.
Waiting for Weiss and Benioff to make their trilogy.
And I don't want another dynasty. I don't want another Skywalker dynasty that we follow around. I don't.
No.
Like, no. Done. Thank you. We've tried that. It does not work well. Like, give me a trilogy of Riven. Give me a trilogy set in the future by a few centuries where, they allude back to the other stuff. The Ancient Master, Jedi Master, Skywalker.
Yeah, just
and
fucking
stuff
leave it.
like
Don't
that.
even talk about that.
Like-
just give me new shit. Don't even.
Well, they can make reference to it as like little Easter eggs. That's fine. Right?
I don't even need that. Just move
Listen,
on.
see,
Quit looking
you say
backwards.
that, but
and
knowing
push
Star
forward.
Wars, what's going to happen is we're going to open. We're going to be like halfway through the movie, and then some dude's going to be wrestling through some papers or some shit and find Anakin's fucking lightsaber. And then that'll be the entire plot, is using his goddamn lightsaber. Guaranteed.
Well,
So
doesn't-
I'm hoping
I don't
if we
want
get
that, though.
another. I'm hoping if we get a series that's not set in the past, that it's focused around a bounty hunter character or something like that, because that would be cool. Like, give me that. Give me something new that we haven't seen.
I mean, Mandalorian, so I mean,
Well, that's going to be the TV show, right? That's going to be something we haven't seen. So
yeah.
I have good hopes for that because I like that actor. He plays an interesting character.
Which actor is it?
It's what's his face? The guy from Rogue One.
Wait, he's gonna be another Star Wars character?
No, same character.
Captain?
This takes place. I'm pretty sure the Mandalorian takes place prior to the events of Rogue One. So this is his life as a spy up to that point.
Oh. Well, now I'm not as interested.
Because remember,
Okay.
he was a spy,
Right,
in like, the
yeah.
Outer Worlds for a really long time, right?
Yeah.
Because he's been fighting with the rebellion and stuff like that since he was a kid. So
I'm over it.
if we get
Like,
that, it'll
the
be
more
interesting.
we talk about it, the more I get sad about the future of Star Wars. Like, can we just can let it fucking die, please, God, let it die.
Hey, you know what? You know what my favorite thing about all that is?
What's that?
If they make more shit, you don't have to fucking watch it. Other people can enjoy it, and you can mind your own goddamn business.
Yeah, if you don't like the new movies, don't go see them. You don't end up liking the TV show, don't watch it. I don't watch Game of Thrones because I think it's a piece of shit.
There you go.
So, like, you can enjoy stuff
I'm allowed
that
to
other
watch it
people
and
don't.
enjoy it.
Yeah, there are people who are going to love the Mandalorian show. 100%.
There's people who hate it.
And there's going to be people who hate it, and that's fine.
And I guarantee you that the sweatiest Star Wars nerds will hate it.
Probably, because they demand everything be made in a way and only for them and that they love.
Well, there's
Anything
like
that's
three
produced in the universe
tiers.
that's not, they complain about. So
There's 3 tiers of Star Wars fans. There's fans who just like anything Star Wars and think it's cool. There's true fans who hate anything made ever since Disney took control of Star Wars.
yeah, that's true with quotation marks.
And then there's real fans that hate everything that isn't the original trilogy.
And that's also quotation marks.
Oh, absolutely, it's quotation marks. I'm memeing when I say true and real fans. Like,
I love the fact he's making quotation marks on camera, but people listening to this on Spotify cannot see his hands.
Right.
also, I'm holding a controller and like letting go of it to make quotation marks.
Like I loved Rogue One. I just
Rogue
I don't
One
know.
was a
Like,
great movie.
Yeah,
I feel like they hurt
Rogue One is
themselves.
probably
Just
the
always
best
happen
Star
to
Wars movie. Like
it. So good.
all of them, including the original trilogies and everything. That's probably
Because-
the best Star Wars film because they're not
you know what they
pulling
fucking
anything
did?
else.
They made a movie that was set in the Star Wars universe. They
Yeah.
didn't make a Star Wars movie. They made a movie that was set in that universe.
Yeah,
Good.
the only thing predetermined from Rogue One is that at the end, they get the plans and the plans get to the. That was the only thing that was really predetermined. Everybody going into it knew
Right.
because they knew
And they still
eventually they're going to
surprised a bunch
succeed.
of people.
Yeah,
Are
and they
you
still
flying?
surprise people because they kill everybody.
Oh my God, you're Batman.
Nobody
comfy.
expected that.
Oh
They're
my
like,
God.
I mean, I
This
pretty
got
much.
dark.
I don't know how you don't see that coming. Everybody
Well,
dying, like
That's the thing. A lot of people go see Star Wars films. They're used to the redemption arc. They're used to the happy ending, and then here you get one. They're like, "Well, we know they're going to get the plans. So we know they're going to get away." It's like they get the plans, but they die in the process.
do you
Like,
not
oh.
remember
Loved it.
the like so many people died bringing us these plans line from episode 4?
Yep.
Yes, but they didn't. I don't think people watching expected because there was a lot of deaths to that point. There people die all over the place in that movie. But I don't think people expected that whole crew to just die. Like I think they expected the main character and the main male actor to get away, and then they're like, "Nah, we're dead."
I'm really glad they didn't. I like
No,
both
I'm
of
glad
those
they're-
characters and would totally like to see them in more stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't for story reasons. You know,
And I think that's why they're doing the TV show with the one guy, because he's got
Yeah.
an interesting history, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
girl, her history is not super interesting because we kind of looked at it in the movie, right? Like, we get a
Little bit,
timeline
yeah.
of her history, and there's nothing really happens a lot with her. With him, he mentions the fact that he was a freedom fighter since he was 6, right? And now he looks to be his 30s, so that's a good chunk of time. That's
It's a
like,
long
okay,
life
what the
of
hell
him
did you do?
doing God knows what. I don't know. I just
Right,
feel like
so-
they hurt themselves when they have to keep making sure things fit into something that they've created. I
Well,
feel like they
I
should
think
just
that's why they're doing that as a TV show rather than as a movie. Because it's easier to do a TV show than it is a movie for that.
and
type of
he's
thing.
also a character that is not as like
He's not as set in
developed.
stone, right?
he's
There's-
not as developed. They
there's-
can do
yeah,
what they
there's-
want with him.
There's a lot they can do with him.
I don't think these characters existed in the Star Wars universe before Rogue One.
Also,
unless I'm
no,
mistaken.
really
I'm pretty sure that this is like
So
Rogue One
one
is
in
wholly
time.
Disney, is like a Disney original thing. And if that's what they're producing as original, give me more of that.
yeah, no, that's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what all of us want. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying like we all want original content that's
Yeah.
not fucking Skywalker Saga. They proved that it works with Rogue One because they made what is objectively the best Star Wars movie.
No, I need to
And it
see
does
Luke
interesting universe.
Skywalker's great grandson fight Emperor
Luke Skywalker's
Palpatine's
great grandson Duke.
Duke Skyblocker has to fight Emperor
Duke
Palpatine's
Dirt
to
Farm.
death.
Duke
All right,
Dirt
that's-
Farmer.
Dirk-
Have you not?
All right.
I will send you a video later.
Okay.
There's stuff that exists still.
Yeah.
There's a redubbing of the Star Wars movies, and it's pretty damn funny. They call him Duke Dirk Farmer.
Yeah.
The only line that they keep in from him is, "Oh, I was gonna go to Tashi Station and pick up some power converters," which the response is, "Stop being a little bitch, now untuck it and let's go." So, also, a little bit of Googling for The Mandalorian. They showed off some footage and a trailer to the people in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody is saying that it looks really good.
Cool. I kind of expected them to throw like Game of Thrones level money at the show.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Because it's going to be like Disney is launching their whole streaming service, and there's a couple of shows they announced that are going to be on it, right, as new shows, and that's what's going to draw people in. For the most part, you also have people like me who are probably going to pick up the streaming service because they're also putting up a bunch of old Disney content shows. So if they put up things like Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, Gargoyles, Gummy Bears, I'm buying it for that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Also,
and I'll get the Star Wars stuff and the Marvel stuff, as a bonus.
The main actor for The Mandalorian is Pedro Pascal, who plays what's his name? He's in Game of Thrones.
Oh.
I wouldn't know him from there.
The dude with the spear.
Yeah. The
Red Viper of Dorne.
The Pit Viper or something.
The Red Viper of Dorne.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to think. I don't know why I can't think of his name.
I don't either.
But he was also in Narcos. And he's playing the main character, and he's playing.
Cool.
They've shown clips of him and his him being a bounty hunter and stuff. We don't even know the name of his character yet.
Which is
Okay.
good. I'm hoping people refer to him as the Mandalorian. That's.
I mean, he is literally a Mandalorian in full gear.
Yeah. Now,
which is
for
super
those who are
cool.
listening and don't know, even though it sounds like Mandalorian is an alien species, it's not. It's actually a culture.
It's Boba Fett. Boba
Yeah,
Fett is a Mandalorian.
duh,
Imagine the
because
Boba
it's a
Fett
culture.
armor.
Yeah, because it's a culture. There's a cultural set of armor most people wear. It resembles Boba Fett or Jango Fett. And
they were generally guns for hire.
They were generally guns for hire, mercenaries. Most of them are human, but not all of them.
Yeah, and so the bounty hunters like Jango and Boba Fett. Jango Fett's armor is Mandalorian armor. Boba Fett's armor is Jango Fett's armor. Therefore, Mandalorian armor. Like,
which means it's probably made of Mandalorian steel, which means it can actually repel a
Kill White
lightsaber.
Walkers. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Valerian steel.
Steel.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry, Pedro Pascal's there anyways.
Don't worry.
I'm
Nova says
super-
it's Javier Pena, and he played Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones.
Oberyn Martell, that's his name. I knew Martell. I could not think of his first name.
The
And
thing
he's like
I'm
one of my
super curious about the newer Star Wars films, though, is what's her face? The Chrome's stormtrooper.
Oh yeah,
Captain
Captain
I wonder
Phasma.
I wonder if we're going to see her again.
I hope
Maybe
she's
we'll have
gone
her.
forever.
God.
And
She had so much promise to be a good character, and the show was the movie.
They did
directors were like, nah.
squander her. The other thing I'm curious about, though, is her armor made of ultrachrome?
No, it's made out of I forget what it is. Here, I can look it up. But
We better, and let's hope she
is,
doesn't die again. You know what? That's going to be our redemption story.
Here,
God
let me
damn it.
tell you. Captain Phasma's armor is polished in chromium that was salvaged by from a yacht that was once owned by Emperor Palpatine. So the chromium reduces radiation, which is super good, but she wears it as a symbol of power, just to be like, I'm better than you.
It would have been more fun if it was ultrachrome to see her in a lightsaber battle then.
She does have an armor weave cape though.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. But like,
Interesting.
it is not particularly special, her armor. It just looks cool.
All right.
I'd love to see more lightsaber battles against people who aren't using a lightsaber, but have some of the armor and whatnot that is resistant to them.
And people have the ability to counter lightsabers and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Because there are
Like-
people like that. They exist. There's armors and weapons that exist like that. So we just haven't
I
really
mean,
seen them.
do you remember the fight in episode 7 between Finn and
Yeah, with the shock stick trooper who uses the
who literally exists to counter lightsabers? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I want to see more of
like-
that. That's interesting.
Or there's the
and
vibro swords
the
from-
cool part of
from
that too, like conceptually, is that they sat there, like the First Order sat there and didn't have their thumbs up their asses. They were like, listen, lightsabers exist. We need a way to get around them. Let's engineer something to fight it.
Well, vibro swords already existed in the Old Republic anyway. So like,
They did, but they're not, unless they're made of particular materials, they're not resistant to a lightsaber. Lightsaber will just cut through them.
Lightsaber cuts through most things.
they explained it in the very beginning of KOTOR. They're like, what happens if they have lightsabers? They're like, vibro swords are fine. I don't remember what they said.
Yeah, as long as they're made of things like Mandalorian steel or a couple other, they can resist a lightsaber initially.
Yes.
Well-
Too much sustained contact will cut through them.
Probably.
There's even
Well-
lightsabers that will cut through other lightsabers. So
Yes. I mean,
Oh
they're
Jesus!
Kyber
God,
crystals.
This is
Kyber
such
crystals
a-
are great.
This is such a such
Welcome
a
to the
rabbit
Star
hole.
Wars
we can go
podcast.
deep on this, Dale, if you want to. Like,
Yeah. So
there's a whole thing that goes on. Like
that
that's
is a whole other
Yeah,
podcast. So anyway, we already discussed that we were going to do the Rise of the Shield Hero, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
we
had
still
talked
on
about
board
that
for doing
last
that
week.
next week?
Yeah. Oh, sure. I want to. Given that we've got to watch another episode of the Fox show and how that might go,
You want
good
something
in the
good,
meantime.
guaranteed. Oh, hey, I have a question. Did anybody watch Isekai Quartet this week?
You
You have no idea what the fuck that is, do you?
No.
All right, so basically, they decided to do the biggest fucking crossover show in anime.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
which-
that
Oh, is
came
this
out,
the
didn't
one
it?
where it's okay, all the little chibi characters?
Yeah,
I
that's
what
remember.
we said. It
Okay,
would
I
be
remember you
fun,
guys
but
loosely
you'd have to
talking
watch
about this.
all the other
four main
shows to
characters from
understand.
Konosuba, the 5 main characters from ReZero, the 2 main characters and 4 auxiliary characters from Tanya the Evil, and the like 6 or 7 main characters from Overlord.
Gotcha.
And it's a goddamn chibi school anime. And I've seen the first episode, and I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do, but it's gonna be great.
Yes. Now we
Guys-
would have covered that show, except to really understand everything.
To
in those
understand,
type
you
of
have
shows,
to
you
see
have
all
to
of
have
the
seen
shows.
all of the other shows where the characters are pulled.
Absolutely. Like we discussed it
big
too.
ass.
Like we were like, this would be really fun and stupid, but you need to have seen Konosuba all the way through. You need to have seen
Bunch of
you need
other
to have
shit.
seen all of Overlord. You need to have seen Tanya the Evil, and you need to have seen ReZero. ReZero is 26 episodes. Konosuba is 20. Tanya the Evil is only 12, which also I recommend. That's a good show.
Which one?
And then Overlord is 3 full seasons.
Oh god.
Yeah, Overlord's really
Like,
long.
You need to watch all of that to understand what's going on. Otherwise, you're like kind of fucked.
Okay, that sounds
Now
fun.
I have some of the newer shows pulled up and ready to go to start watching, like just to see if there are any decent
Mhm.
things. I just haven't dipped into them yet.
Yeah, I feel like we
the
should
Kenjin no
cover-
Mango, the Robahachi show. That's the Lost City show. I've got pulled up as well, ready to go. I've got Fairy Gone pulled up. I've got
Well,
hopes for Fairy Gone.
Copper's just prepared. Look at you.
I have hopes for Fairy Gone. I need to start it.
Well, I tend to
Man,
watch at least a couple episodes of most anime when they first come out, just to see if they're decent to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Right. Nerd.
Yeah, I've just been watching a lot of Dragon Ball still.
Yeah.
I'm on episode like 275 now.
Fancy.
We
I'll
just got Vegeta.
Probably start rewatching the abridged of Sword Art just to have something on while I'm working this week, I think. As long as it doesn't start distracting me.
That
too much.
abridged starts out so terribly and gets so goddamn good.
It does.
I do not like the beginning of it, but like, listen, the episode where they're sitting there like post sex and he asks her to get married and he's like, "What the?" And like he's having that internal monologue. Why the fuck did you do that? I don't know. Isn't that the thing you're supposed to do? No, you do something romantic, not life ending. And then it like cuts over to her. She's like, "Yes," and then it's like, "Bitch, you what?" Like immediately in her head, like the internal dialogue between that those two have in their heads is just so goddamn funny in those episodes. Like,
Okay.
And then it's like at the very end, it's like, hey, do you think getting married is the worst goddamn mistake we've ever made? Yep. You want to do it anyways? Sure. Was it that fucking easy? Like,
Just like every other marriage.
it's just so well done. Like, man, high quality,
But
good memes.
I'm curious to see what you're going to think about Shield Hero, Dale, because it doesn't have a lot of those fan service moments that, you know,
Good.
I think
I will probably
off.
have
Does have
some
enough
enjoyment
value,
out of
though.
it at least. Like,
It does have the world's favorite little raccoon girl.
it does. That's the thing. It still has one of those characters in it.
I mean,
that is
look,
definitely designed to be a fan service, like, idol type
She's a
character.
goddamn
for a lot of people.
waifu.
Yeah. She is 100%
Alright,
waifu
we'll
bait,
figure it
and
out.
so is the other character they introduced. Actually, 2 other characters now that they've introduced. So
Man, it's almost like this show is turning up to be waifu wars.
oh my god. All
Ask
right.
me about my
Anyway,
fate addiction.
I don't want to ask you about your fate addiction. What I want to ask is where people on the internet can find you.
Oh man, so you can find me on Mixer, mixer.com/Confamous, or you can find me on Twitter at Confamous, or Instagram at Confamous, or I think that's it.
So no longer by the slave name. Cool.
Not by my slave name. I mean, I don't think you have anywhere else you can find me. If you need to email me, you can email me at
Confamous.
confamous@gmail.com.
I don't know if
Listen,
anybody's used it beside me yet.
I got the branding. No, you know what? It's on my business card, so it will get used more now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's right. I spent 20 minutes. I made business cards because I had to apply for my my E3 pass. So
Nice.
it requires you to send a business card in, and I didn't have one, so I just spent 20 minutes making one.
I've made a couple of those last week, and I've got to make another one still.
They're easy and
Business cards are. Yeah, I get paid to make mine though.
Yeah, you do. That's why
I'm not making them.
That's one of the reasons I didn't pay you to do it. I was like, this is like kind of pretty easy. I think I can handle this. You do it better, but I can make it passable.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, passable is all you really needed for that.
It's a business card. You only need passable.
Well, the ones I made are actually nice looking, but that's fine.
Oh, comfy's. That's what he means. Jesus Christ, Copper, you're a jerk.
I mean, well, if Comfy used all the stuff I made for him, he's got a lot of pre-made assets. Just kind of.
I had a lot of pre-made
Right.
assets.
You can just slap it together and it probably look pretty good.
I literally.
Because I'm a nice person, and when someone commissions stuff, I give them the working file.
He gave me all the working files. I had to make a BRB screen, and I was able to make one super easy with the assets I already had. The only thing I had to download was the font.
Yeah.
And for the business card, the only
curious.
asset I needed to find was I needed to find a Twitter logo, and I needed to recolor it to like pink. And that was it.
Neat.
Because that's how commissions work, right? Like, there are people who commission stuff, like get stuff commissioned, and when they get it back, they only get the assets. That's actually not right. If you commission something from an artist, like a graphic designer, or that, when you commission it, not only are you supposed to get the assets, you're also supposed to get all the working files, because technically speaking, you own them and can do whatever you want with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's like.
It'll be the same way for you, Dale. You'll get all the working files, though I don't think you'll be able to do anything with them because I don't think you have the programs, but you'll still own them.
I mean, I'll be able to make them look worse with paint. Don't worry. I will ruin the hard work that you do.
You won't even be able to open the working files with paint. Paint was like, what the hell is this?
All right. Well, Copper, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Copper Line here on Mixer. You can find me at Copper Line Art and Copper Line Designs on Twitter and Instagram.
Nice.
I need to post a few more things too still.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Dale? Where can people find you, Dale?
You can find me on the internet at mixer.com/Mr. Vengeance, on Twitter and Instagram at _Mr. Vengeance. And yeah, that's it. Next week we will be doing the first 3 episodes of what's it? Rise of the Shield Hero? Is that what it's actually called?
Rising of the Shield Hero.
Rising of the Shield Hero. You know, one of these days I will pay attention to learn the names of these shows.
Dude, I don't even know what you started the goddamn episode saying we were watching.
I think it was Bakura. I thought I said Bakura.
I think so.
What is that show? That's a thing we did, though, right?
Yeah, it's 100% a Yu-Gi-Oh character. 100% Bakura is
It's
a
almost
Yu-Gi-Oh
like it's a foreign language to me, almost. Man, I don't fucking know.
It's almost to me.
All right. Anyway, first 3 episodes of Rising of the Shield Hero, and then episode number 2 of Kitsune.
which
we can
I'm not looking forward to.
I hope it gets good. The thing is, it's like, if it gets good, it'll be great. If it doesn't,
I hope I love this show, and you guys fucking hate it. I'm just gonna say it.
I
Like, it
hope
would
there's more to
make me
talk about.
happy.
Like, there is almost nothing to talk about in that first.
I wanted more in-depth discussion of episodes. That was
Right.
why I brought up this idea. There was
But we
5
got-
sentences. Like,
We
that
got
was
nothing. Yeah, we got nothing to work with that show. With that,
Right.
with that episode's of like, shit, what the hell happened? All right.
Listen, like next week, I'm probably just gonna make you guys watch Dragon Maid so you can see what it looks like when it's done right. Man.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this week. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of 2.5 Weebs. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Watch the shows before it starts.